Welcome to Curious Goldfish, a podcast community where music and curiosity come together through interesting conversations with the music makers of our world. I'm your host, Jason English. You can find Curious Goldfish in all the major podcast and social media platforms, and of course, we have all of our content on our website, curiousgoldfish.com. Hey, Garrett and Tyler, really nice to meet you. I really appreciate your time. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. How are you, brother?
Yeah, never better. I appreciate your all's time. So you guys, I think, are in the kind of the middle of a new tour, right? I looked at the schedule. It looked like you guys kicked off a couple shows, and then that's going to get back going. You guys going out with the Retrograde, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, we did 3 shows. We did Pensacola, Birmingham, and Maryville, Tennessee. And it was guess like pre-tour shows, but man, they went so well. It was great turnouts, and it made us super excited. The Retrograde, those are great dudes. It's kind of interesting when you're doing tours like this is really like only our second tour, but like you don't really know these folks. I had talked to Joe, their frontman, on the phone for about a half hour some weeks before the tour, but you don't really know these guys. So you just show up and you're like, man, I hope they're cool. And they're the coolest dudes. Like, we're getting along with them so well already.
You guys did a pretty good tour in the fall. I guess what lessons did you guys learn from that tour that you're going to apply to this new one?
Well, we've been asked that question a lot lately, and the answers seem to change because we learned a lot. One is just the treatment of people. Like, we've been treated so well by headliners, for the most part. But bands like Dirty Honey and Blackberry Smoke, they just been ridiculously cool to us. And it just goes along with what we want to do as we, continue a headlining route, is to treat openers, like we want to be treated, the golden rule. Garrett had his own lessons he learned, though.
I learned something on that. No, it's when interacting with bands. I mean, obviously, you be as amicable can, be as kind and everything. There was this one instance I'd always have, or not always have, but occasionally have before shows with Dirty Honey guys, and the drummer Jaden being, I'd be like, "Hey man, I love you. Thank you for having us on this tour," and then I'd leave, and then hey man, and I'd have to come back in the doorway. I'm like, "What's up?" Or like, sets playing, the song's playing. We have to go on. And he like, hey, just remember what you stand for. And so that stuck with me. And it's a stupid simple saying, but it helps to ground you back in where you started.
So I did notice. So I'm based in Atlanta. You guys are playing Smith's Old Bar here in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys have played there yet, but it's one of the legendary venues in all of Atlanta, and there's a lot here. But Smith's has a really, really cool history of, and you can see it as you go up the stairs. The signatures and the pictures and everything. It's one of those classic venues. I guess when you guys put this tour together, are things like that intentional? In terms of the venues that you guys are picking and kind of the vibe that you're going for, or at this point, are you just kind of happy to be busy and have your calendar booked up?
Yeah, more so the latter. I mean, from time to time, there are some things I'll mention to management and say, man, it'd be so full circle if we played here. But no, I mean, we're just so new that, like, I won't say we'll take anything we can get, but pretty much that. And I think that we're playing a lot of these venues like Smith's, like you're talking about, or like Grant's Lounge in Macon. I'm more so familiar with that one with like the Southern Rock connection, but like with the brothers and stuff. But like, I think that those things just happen because like every band ever started off in small cap rooms for the most part. Besides Boston, they didn't. But But so no, it's not intentional. With that said, I think it adds to a lot of people's excitement about us, whether it's an older generation or younger generation. We keep hearing over and over, like, I saw Zeppelin here, I saw, REM here, I saw especially like in Atlanta area. I'm sure the Crows and REM and all those bands are playing there constantly. So no, it's not intentional, but it definitely is an honor and like um, I don't know. It's very cool to feel
Yeah.
a part of that
Just
legacy.
to what?
To feel a part. Oh, shut up. To the band feel part of that legacy.
Yeah. Did you guys ever watch the movie Almost Famous? Do you know what that is?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that movie before everyone started referring to those coats as Penny Lane coats. Yeah, so we're pretty familiar with them.
So well, and we'll get to the Midwest and St. Louis and all that, but I grew up in Missouri, and I went to school at the University of Missouri, studied journalism. And
Cool.
so I'm having a moment here because I kind of feel like William Miller in that movie.
Yeah.
When he was talking to Lester Bangs, and Lester's like, when you're pitching to Rolling Stone, just tell him it's going to be a think piece about a mid-level band struggling with the harsh reality of of success or something like that, and it's
I
like
like what I hear.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you'll have the look of Stillwater, when he was telling him about covering Stillwater, just the whole thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally William Miller right now. It's pretty funny.
Well, we're in the business of cool, man. That's what it is.
It's all about the merch too, the t-shirt.
Yeah,
Anyway.
man.
Well, so Garrett, you're not from the St. Louis area like I think most of the others. You're from New England, I think. I guess how did you come to meet the guys? And then Tyler, back to you kind of as a follow-up. I want to ask about kind of the Midwest and growing up there and some of the sentiment and the just the values and roots of the Midwest and how that's influenced you guys. But yeah, Garrett, for you, if you can tell me about your story and how you got connected with Feel, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm from the Deep West, which would be California.
Oh, you're from California.
Born in Washington State, but live in California. My good buddy Nico, who is actually I was going to say the last member, but it wasn't. He is the other guitarist in the Fred. I was in Greedy Lion, and he hit me up. I don't know how I still haven't asked him how he found Feel to even on their music and everything, but he said, dude, there's a band, they're really cool, looking for a singer. And so he added me at Garrett on Facebook or whatever, and we got to talking, Tyler and I. I remember I was driving to a math tutoring session on the freeway on I-80. That's a California thing to say. But we talked about what we were looking for in the band. He was happy that I didn't play guitar, and then that it kind of just we took off from there. I was a week before I was going out with another project. He's all like, "Hey, can we fly you out and just try out this band? Just how it would be in a rehearsal room, in a rehearsal spot." And so went out and we did it. And the next day, Tyler and I were driving somewhere, I don't know, but he played the recording of the rehearsal that TJ took. So I remember listening back to him like, this sucks, dude. Like, this is not good. And he's like, no, dude, it's really cool. It was the first try. I'm like, oh, dude, whatever you say. And now we're here. Now they're gonna stuck with me for now. So that's how we got together.
How long ago was that?
Dude, that was is it cool if we give him a date, Tyler? Because I remember.
I don't care. It's April of 20. Actually, I think it was like April 5th or something.
Yeah, April 5th of 2023.
Oh my gosh, it's not even 2 years.
Nearly, yeah. It feels like a long time for us.
Yeah, it feels like it's a long, long time ago.
No, that's cool.
But yeah.
Well, I guess again, so Tyler, in terms of the Midwest, what is that upbringing and sort of value system that I grew up in the Midwest. Many of us have sort of experience, how's that played into who you are as a band, if at all?
Well, yeah, the rest of us are from the Midwest. TJ and I are from Springfield, Illinois, and Caden's from Indiana, but he's a baby in the band. He's only been around since exactly July 4th,
Oh gosh.
of 2024. So, but he's pretty Midwest as well. The Midwest has affected just every, waking moment for me. It's things are much slower here, but not lackadaisical.
Hmm.
There's the value system. I can't really speak for anywhere else. I Except that I know that Garrett loves his family dearly, and I know that the value system is very similar with that. Um, yeah, the Midwest has affected the influence on our music, maybe just because of that, because it's slower. It's the Midwest has so much country, but it also has Chicago and St. Louis and Minneapolis, bigger cities that aren't like any other big cities anywhere else.
Right.
Even a place like Columbia, Missouri,
Right.
that's a big city in the middle of in the state, and it still feel, being from Springfield, Columbia is probably similar. I grew up in the city, but it
Hmm.
was directly next to a cornfield. Like I could walk into the cornfield, and how I'm sure somebody from the Midwest can understand what I mean about its impact.
I think in other interviews, you've talked about how important it is for you guys to be authentic.
Hmm.
And I actually think that's a Midwestern value, and so that comes to mind when I listen to your music and I hear y'all's, other interviews,
Hmm.
the authenticity comes through. So,
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I can't say it's like a goal. I don't think it's been a goal of ours. It's I've probably mentioned that that's a what the frick? Um sorry, our drummer
okay.
texted us and went wild. So um yeah, it hasn't been like a goal to be authentic. People have said that when they hear it, which is awesome. And I don't know if they mean like the music is authentic. They seem that we're authentic as people, but it's not like we're trying to do that. And that sounds super pretentious. It's like, oh, we're not trying to be authentic. We just are. But it is just the way we are. When we're getting together, we might have like, yeah, let's try to do something that sounds influenced by this or like this, but like I don't know. Garrett might say otherwise, but I think he agrees. It's like when we put a song together, it's not like we're like we have to sound authentic and genuine.
Right.
It is just coming. It's just what we're doing. But I
Mm.
agree that the Midwest is kind of just real folk. And man, that just sounds Midwestern as crap right there. But I
That's so
always
classic.
say there's a reason why newscasters always try to sound like they're from the Midwest, and it's because it's the realest people there are.
I promise I won't beat this horse dead too much, Garrett, but kind of a follow-up question about the whole St. Louis thing, because I think it's fascinating. I think so. Miles Davis is from Alton, right?
Hmm.
And then St.
Yeah,
Louis, I think
born here in East St. Louis, but yes.
yeah, and then St. Louis, I think is more famous for like Chuck Berry or Nelly, right? So
Yeah.
when you think about
Yeah,
like
it's awesome.
classic rock and southern rock, like St. Louis isn't at the top of the list. So I guess how did your sound and your look and your kind of your stuff with yeah how did your sound come to being, given kind of where you guys originated from?
Um,
Oh boy, I
Yeah.
don't know.
that's gonna
Garrett,
be
I'd like to hear
yeah,
you try
that's
to
gonna be
answer
more
that.
of a you question. For
I know.
me,
I'd like to hear you try to answer it though.
here to try to answer the St. Louis thing. Oh well, I guess um, Tyler and TJ are exceptionally influenced by jazz. I
Mm.
know that. They Tyler especially really loves rock and roll. I think TJ actually, you know what? He totally did because he said this several times. Um, dude, what's the one that band that Three Doors Down? dude, he would play along with that band all the time. He was younger. I remember him saying that now. But most of the rock influence has been because the nature of where they're at, jazz moving. Jazz slowly turned melded with blues rock, and it started, becoming what people see through Led Zeppelin or was it Cream and such. This is gonna act like the music historian, but I can't answer for them. All I know is that I really dug the Motown, very early Motown stuff. So like Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, really got into him, and then jumped into Jimi Hendrix, the Black Crow, not Black Crows, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, and then I went to Black Crows, and then I started delving into the '90s and Soundgarden and stuff like that. Queens of the Stone Age. So those are my influences. But Tyler, tell us about St. Louis.
I could tell you a lot about the music history about St. Louis. Related to us, yeah, I don't. So the one thing that I think has influenced my listening and therefore like output musically related to St. Louis is the radio station KSHE. It's been around since '67. They're playing stuff that still no one has ever heard. Everyone like that you've never heard, like Gypsy and things of that nature, Butts Band stuff. But anyhow, hanging out with folks who listened to that station growing up in the '60s and '70s and being influenced by music that I wouldn't have heard anywhere else. I think that's how St. Louis has influenced the music. With that said, we are in the age of YouTube, Spotify. Everything's available to you, unless it hasn't been pressed again for whatever reason or digitized. So you can be influenced by, Dubai music, and live in St. Louis or New York or whatever. I think what's really interesting about us, I was just talking to Caden, the bassist, yesterday about this, is like take a band like, I mean, everyone's always going to talk about Led Zeppelin. So let's just say Led Zeppelin. Take a band like Led Zeppelin. And when Houses of the Holy came out, they can only have been influenced by music from 1973 and prior. Well, what's a unique situation for anyone nowadays, but it's a band like us who has deep influence from I would say primarily the '50s through the '70s, and then Garrett with a lot of the earlier '90s rock and stuff like that, and some '80s thrown in, is that we can have influence from 2025 and prior. Right. So, but what's interesting is a lot of folks will say we sound like, Led Zeppelin meets the Black Crows, and our social media stuff might have had influence on that, for better or for worse. But I never really listened to the Black Crows, admittedly. I know Shake Your Moneymaker, like everyone does, but I'm not going to say I'm a Crows fan. I think they're great, but I'm afraid to say I am because people will be like, what's your favorite song from Southern Harmony? I'm like, She Talks to Angels. So, but Garrett is. But what's interesting, again, about this period of time is that Garrett mentioned he listened to Ray Charles, Aretha, James Brown, etc. I listen to that stuff all the time and still do. But we're listening to like the same bands that the Black Crowes did. We're listening to the same bands that Led Zeppelin did, or Van Halen, or whoever, XTC, or whoever. And I think that's what's unique about us, is that we can have all of these different influences, and now it becomes, the band feels music. And not to say other bands can't do that, it's just that it's our unique blend. So I think that's why people have a hard time, thankfully, saying, well, this song sounds like Aerosmith, this song sounds exactly like Zeppelin, this song, it's usually like, well, I can hear Peter Frampton here, I can hear Cream in here, I can hear whoever. So that's my take on what has really influenced our music and why we sound the way we do.
As a band, have you guys talked about the need to move to Nashville or to LA or to be kind of more in the center of the traditional music scene, or do you guys think it's an advantage that you're kind of outside of it?
For tax
Well, we
purposes,
definitely,
certainly.
yeah, not LA for sure, New York,
Not
but
LA.
yeah, we've definitely talked about it, but it's, it's one of those things we say it may happen if it comes to the point that we need to, but also when it comes to the point you need to, usually means you're so busy with all of it that you need to be there. But hopefully, if you're so busy, you're making enough money that you can live wherever you want and it doesn't matter. So,
Yeah.
not really. We're so close to Nashville. I mean, I'm there usually at this point once a month doing stuff for the band and whatnot. It's like 4 hours from here, and Garrett's here most of the time because we're just been so busy. And yeah, I don't know. It's, again, we live in the age where Garrett and I can swap back and forth song ideas. Like, we don't have to be in the same room. And is it better or worse? I don't know, but that's a long way of saying we're not moving to Nashville right this second.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Nashville, I think you guys recorded your the EP that was released in the fall there at, was it the Smokestack? Is that right?
Yeah, that's our home
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from home.
Yeah. So Garrett, I guess you're not even 2 years into the band, and having recorded those songs in that location in Nashville with a really well-known producer, I guess, what was that experience for you, and anything part of that process stick out to you?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's you get into that place, and I can't use a lot of words because I don't know. They're not great words, and I don't know how to describe another way. But it's just the very eclectic. It's a mishmash and a little hodgepodge of knickknacks that Paul Moak has gathered around the world. A whole lot of monkeys doing this, but it's mainly that, actually, that and the really cool musical pieces. It's awesome. They're very, very comforting people. They'll listen to you and they'll give their advice and everything. But it's a very comfortable place to record in. I mean, you feel at home. Tyler said it. I think I've said it. The red light fever comes a little less when you're there. It feels like.
Okay.
So,
Okay. What about the music making process that you'll remember from that experience? Any moments or anything in particular about certain songs or certain recordings?
yeah, getting to sing gang vocals with Paul and the other dude in the band at the very end of In the Garden. It goes, tearing me asunder, lightning in a thunder. Guys, I want a ton of voices on this. Come on in. And so then we all rolled into the big room, and we stood five of us around the mic. It was a fun time. It was cool.
Oh, that's great.
That's it. That'd probably be the
Tyler, what about you from that experience would stick out to you, 2 years, 5 years from now?
Man, it's really tough to pinpoint specific musical moments because we like to think we don't have any bad songs or anything like that. So the process has been good. The outcome has been good. I get a lot of questions of what guitars and amps I used on certain things, but Garrett can attest when it's guitar day, I'm switching and doing all this crap. So I don't really, I can't really remember that stuff. I should really write it down. But what I take from it is not so much the musical side of things, but with all the guys I've gotten close with particularly with Paul. That's what I'll take mostly from working at Smokestack is like he's my boy, like we're tight, and we would talk, most every day when we were on the tour because he's in Heart and he's been touring for a long, long time too. So he's been a you know spiritual guidance and literal guidance with touring and just navigating this whole musical world. And a father and a brother figure, and that's what I take most from it. Like they're like they're family for sure. Like I'll invite them to my wedding, no doubt. Kind of feeling like so good that goes into the music and the recording process. It's just like there's very few times that I was frustrated. There, and most of the time it was with myself. So like
Okay.
it's just like, it's so laid back, man. It's so it's so Midwest, man. No, it's really cool. Like Garrett said, it's eclectic, but you walk in and there's stuff everywhere, but it's not like just a collection of crap. It's not like a let's
Not
make a
cluttered.
studio. Yeah, it's like a curated vibe. It
Hmm.
feels as real as it gets. It's just very spiritual place. So that's what I take from it.
Okay. Well, so the EP that you all recorded, it's called The Band Feel, so it's self-titled.
Yeah.
For those that aren't familiar with your music, what can they expect from those songs? And is it, more about heartbreak, grief, adventure? I do want to ask you about Goodbye Virginia, but was there a theme to those songs that kind of came together to make up the 6 for the EP?
Well, it's a collection of wait, what songs are on there? Let me think. In the Garden, Goodbye Virginia, Call It What You Will. So it's a collection of um songs we've had for a while and then some newer songs. So
Okay.
like it's an interesting look of, well, this is where we're at, but this is how we're, you know, adapting. These songs are going to adapt to what we are now. There's no central theme for sure. I mean, there's only so many things you can write about, and all of it's about life, whether it
Right.
makes sense or not. Um, yeah, I mean, lyrically, nothing's really consistent except that they're like, it's good. It's not like just mumble jumbo.
Yeah.
They
Um,
suck.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, musically, it's weird to talk about something we've done that feels so long ago. I mean, that was recorded in late July of 2024, and we just finished another EP. So,
Oh, you already
we're
have. Okay, cool.
yeah, we're kind of looking forward to that, and we're already talking about the next one and putting some stuff
Mm,
together for that and artwork and etc. So, like, I feel like that album sounds mature. I think it sounds young.
mm.
Um, I'm I I'm glad that it exists, and yeah, I don't know, but it's hard to say. I like it. I think it's a good listen. People seem
Yeah.
to dig it, but ask your question about Virginia because it's always a new one.
Could probably answer, dude.
Yeah.
Who wrote Goodbye Virginia?
Well,
So
it was
music, Tyler,
yeah.
and then lyrics, myself. Except for the second verse or whatever you want to call it, the bridge.
Like the bridge
Okay.
I
portion
used to
deal.
wonder would do. Tyler had that part. In. I thought
Okay.
it was really cool. So I was like, yeah, dude, you should totally keep it.
Well,
I mean,
what I wanted to ask about is this thing, Goodbye Virginia, hello this climb. So what is this climb?
oh man, that's a deep question, man. I think, and I think that's something that you, as the listener, have to decide for yourself.
Such a cop out.
Dude, that feels so good to say.
I always say it's a Miley Cyrus song, The Climb.
It's a climb. Yeah, good, but Goodbye Virginia, hello this climb. I know a place where we can be all right. I knew I wanted Goodbye Virginia, hello this climb because it sounded just so powerful. Just in what it just in how it sounded, how it could feel right for the song. And then I know a place where we can be all right. I didn't land on that line until we played our very first show. What was the biker place, Tyler? Do you remember?
It was some biker place in Iowa, and the song wasn't really ready, but I have a tendency to be like, we're playing this song tonight. It is what it is. And
Our
so
previous
I guess
bass
that's what
player
happened.
Roger was not having a good. He's all, I don't know what's going on. I told him like, dude, you don't got words to sing. Don't even call me about not being ready. I was just singing phonetic. I was like, after I know a place where it can be all right. I swear I had to have done that at one show. Yeah, but it is, it was a joke, but Hello Climb, it really is whatever you want it to be. I like to try and write the lyrics in the story and in a way that makes sense to me, where it means to me, but I don't ever want to tell anyone it means to me, because it automatically rules out everyone else's, because they'll say like, well, he said it was about this. It's like, no, like Tolkien answer a whole lot of things, because apart from and all that fantasy, the theory craft and everything like that. So I want people to attach to the song in their own way. So I want you to care about the lyrics.
Well, I didn't expect Tolkien's name to be dropped in this conversation, so that's a good surprise. So thank you for that. That's
really Warhammer 40,000 too. Don't get me started.
Yeah, we've already decided we're going to do our Hobbit through Return of the King DVD in the van marathon this tour. It's coming.
But Tyler, I guess a question. So did you all bring Garrett on because of you needed a kind of a main lead singer, or did you also want and kind of need his songwriting?
Well, Garrett tells the story, and this is the short of it. We sent him a demo so he could hear some just random thing that we had been working on. I had it shelved for a year and a half or 2 years, and we had only played it like 4 times as a band before I sent it to Garrett. But anyhow, he wrote some stuff too, and I was like, oh, thank God he can write. Like, awesome. And I'll never stop writing, but I trust Garrett so much. Like I was working on something the other day, and I really like the way it sounds and the melodies and stuff. But I sent it to Garrett. I'm like, well, let me know what you think on this, because if he comes with something better, like, hey, right on. I mean, freaking, Nelson Mandela could write something better, and I'm like, okay, if it's better, then sick. I don't know why I picked him, but anyhow,
great on
on Billboard.
Awesome.
Yeah,
good publicity.
But yeah, I assumed that Garrett could write, and I had listened to other stuff that he's been a part of with his old band, with his brother-in-law and stuff, and I was like, that's cool. It was nice because it took some weight off my shoulders, but also allows me to write for somebody as well. Like this specific song I'm talking about that's in its infancy of sorts. When I was sitting there and a melody came to my head, I was like, oh, that's like a Garrett melody. I was influenced by Garrett, and this seems like a mesh of what we would do together. So, yeah, we brought him on because he rocked. Yeah. And I was listening to something. Actually, I was just curious what "Find a Love," one of our tunes, the first release with Garrett, sound like. Cause I haven't listened to it forever, so I listened to it this morning on my drive, and I was like, man, Garrett sounds really good, but he sounds way better now. And so it's fun to be able to write for someone like that and be in a band where I trust everybody musically. And not that just because I write the song, the music, it's going to stay exactly that way, or it's like I write everything. But that tends to be the case where I'm bringing forth musical ideas, and I can already hear what folks are going to do. So it's really fun. And right now we're in a season of like creative output, and it's just been super awesome sitting in my studio and being like, man, I cannot wait to hear what Garrett does on this. So we wanted Garrett for Garrett. We didn't want Garrett just because of a role, so to speak.
How does that make you feel, Garrett?
I still hate him. So it makes me feel great. Makes me feel fantastic, man.
He doesn't like when I compliment him. So
I hate it. I hate that. Get it away.
He just doesn't know what to say. He's all right. He likes it. Yeah. He feels good. I'll talk, but he feels good.
I don't know how to respond to that, to the positivity. It's weird. I don't like that.
Well, no, so I'm in the business world. I have a day job and stuff. And I think one of the hardest lessons to learn in corporate world, or maybe even in art, is how to take a compliment gracefully, So it is hard, right? But I think as you get older,
sorry.
I just turned 50 last year, and as you get older, compliments tend to be few and far between, so it's like you need to, I encourage you to learn how to kind of take them, because you're going to treasure them more and more and more,
Yeah, you certainly feel that in the music world. I mean, the younger you are, they're like, oh my God, dude, he's so talented. And then you take that same talent and you put it in a 26-year-old's body. They're like, all right, well, they're doing all right, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, some things definitely stick with you. I've also said, it depends what a compliment's on as well. It's very nice to be like respected, and it's very nice to be appreciated. Sometimes when you hear the same thing after every gig every night, it's like you have
Right.
stock sayings like, "Man, I appreciate that, dude. We're having fun. Thank you so much," and you're genuine with it. But it is weird. With that said, I always say, if nobody came up after a show, if no one reached out to us on Instagram or whatever and said, "Man, this is the best thing blah blah I've heard," then we'd be like, "God, we suck." So
Right.
it's a weird thing, but I assure you, Garrett feels good about my kind words towards him.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So where do you all think you are as artists?
Where do you
Where
think?
where do you all think you are? Let me rephrase it. Where do you all think you are as artists today, and where do you all want to be?
I think that right now we are on the cusp of sounding how we're supposed to at the end of the day. I think that I'm really like excited about what the release will be after this one that is to come. So whatever we record next, because we're starting to get into a groove. We know each other's tendencies. Um, naturally things get deeper. You don't want to release a 12-minute long song as your first single on your first thing, because that just makes everyone freak out. And but that kind of stuff is. You said what?
What's that,
We
Gary?
will release one though.
Yeah, and it so we're looking forward to being able to, not that we haven't been, but get deeper with more in depth with the artistic side of things. And there's a lot of ideas that happen that it's like, well, I don't think that idea works. But as you get older with the music, get older with each other, I think it turns more into you mature musically with each other. And it's like, I know this is going to work if you do it this way. I know this. So I think where we're at as a band is that we're very young. The duration of the band is we're a young band. In the eyes of the world, we've been out for less than a year, which is not exactly true. But
Sure.
I'm really looking forward to the shows we've got coming up and the excitement that that's going to build, because it's just going to push us more into um, being who we're meant to be. Like, I'm a big Rush fan, and I love the early Rush stuff. But Neil Peart says, moving pictures, that's the way Rush sounds. That's like, it took all of those years to get there. So I feel we're getting to that point, and I'm excited for our unique stamp and output to come.
Okay. Garrett, anything to add to that?
Yes. That's it. No. No. Yeah, dude, I think we're stoked for it. And just to give some kind words back, listening back, I said, yeah, dude, send me over the guitar version of it, like without the vocals, and I'll have that as reference and put something down for that song that Tyler was running. And but no, dude, those verses are a really cool melody. I dig those verses. Just gotta.
Nice.
Thanks.
All right.
Now answer the question.
That's what I'm saying is that well, he came up with that melody, whatever it is to be, and whatever the idea is to be, and I think it's cool. And there's a guitar. I don't play guitar, but he sings better than I play guitar. I should say that. But there's ideas where I notice that just my rhythmic strumming is very akin to stuff that Tyler would do. So I noticed that it's rubbing off on me on that front too. It's cool, it's just we're learning each other's instruments by osmosis. And it's
Awesome.
an awesome thing every time.
Yeah, I've never been involved with something that I've been like directly influenced by a members um their output as much as I have with Garrett. It's I think musical soulmates are like that term is very overused because you can have like so many, but
Mm,
I think Garrett and I, the whole band, of course, but when we're talking about the initial creation side of things, I think Garrett and I are starting to hit a stride. And um, listening to Find a Love this morning, and I was like, man, Garrett has gotten. He was great then, but I mean, Garrett's starting to become Garrett now. It makes me excited for, I don't know when we recorded that. I guess a little year and a half ago ish. Um, I'm stoked for a year and a half from now, and I can be like,
yes.
dang, you know, that's us. And that's, I don't know if Garrett feels the same way, but when I listen to, I don't sit around and like play our music all the time, but I'll listen to it every once in a while. But like listening back to the mixes in the studio and whatnot, sometimes I'm just like, I'll listen to a song, or we listen to every song in a row a couple times because our manager wanted to hear it, our friends wanted to hear it who were in Nashville and all that. And every time we did it, after this all five songs were through, I opened my eyes. I was like, man, I forgot that I was listening to us. It's almost like I'm not in the band. It's almost like
Mm,
Garrett and TJ and Ken aren't in the band. It's just like, wow, we're just listening to music. And it's just a really cool spiritual and emotional thing. I'm not saying I'm going to start sobbing about it, but if I thought about it hard enough, I'm like, wow, we're doing something very beautiful together. And what's great is that folks like you and the people listening and going to shows and listening literally all over the world at this point, we're like, it's becoming like everybody's band. It's
that's
very
really cool.
feels like a connected thing, and I just can't wait to keep doing it. It's been sick. I mean, like there's been ups and
Yeah,
downs with learning how to deal with each other and certain things, but like it's a very beautiful period of time. And I think you know, it's the world is showing that they're accepting of such things. So
no, good for
anyhow,
you. Yeah,
that's my
good for you.
spiel.
No, that's great. All right, so I just have a couple more questions, real quick. I really appreciate y'all's time. So you all are dudes in your 20s, I think, still mostly.
Hmm.
How is it being in a band, traveling now, touring, and like what's the relationship status of everybody? Like, and how hard is that if you are, is it are the are the stories and the perception of being the rock star, are they all that's cracked up to be, or is it not great for a love
Well,
Oh
you're
life?
well, we're not rock stars by any means.
no, no,
Like
not at all. But
literally, or like how symbolically.
yeah, no. I mean, when you're on tour, you're in tight quarters for a long time, almost all the time. So I mean, tensions are gonna rise, and you know they're gonna fall. The pendulum swings both ways. You know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
try to let go, and you try to improve and do better within by yourself, and but also within the relationships with others. So just
yeah.
how it
Yeah,
is.
I think related to that. Did I cut you off, Garrett? I'm sorry.
No, actually, yes, you did. But I'll let you
Okay.
talk now.
So anyway, um, I
Be
think
that as it
related to
may.
that, be. Yeah, that's an
Please leave
inside
that
joke.
in. Please leave that in.
So anyway, I think related to that, I mean, it's you know, everybody has grown up to do. Whether you're on your deathbed or whether you're 14 or whatever it is. So yeah, we're I think what everyone's learning, my rule is rule number one: just shut up. Like
Mhm.
just leave it alone. Like you should be able to move on. And we all have little spats and things like that, and it's just things you got to learn and get past. The whole thing is this all about the music? No, nothing in life is all about the music. Is what we should be focusing on when it comes to our job, which is the music. We should be focusing on the quality of it. Yes. And that is affected by our relationships. I will say that if there's times where Garrett and I are not like seeing eye to eye on something, our disputes aren't necessarily like quote unquote loud, meaning like we usually just get over them sort of thing. But we've had shows where it's like we're pretty annoyed with each other, but we're still in it to win it. Like the show
Yeah.
is still awesome. We're still laughing. And in fact, a lot of the times it helps you get past things. But yeah,
Well,
living.
you guys both surgically and strategically didn't answer the question, which is fine. But like, what about love?
What was the
Like love
question?
life and like, you know, dating and relationships in terms of like the opposite
Oh,
sex. You know, is that like how is that?
we both. I literally just.
I thought
observed it
you
as
meant
a relationship
interpersonal.
in the band. First off,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah.
dude, I'm too
We're
awkward
we're
around
all in
chicks.
a.
Kidding me?
Yeah, I mean there are definitely girls around, but not in the way that things might have been at one time. There's definitely
Yeah,
bands that is the case.
right.
We enjoy our female friends for sure, but not in the way that they might think rock stars do. We just enjoy folks.
Yeah.
Three of us are in serious relationships.
Okay.
Um, Garrett's not in a relationship right now, which it takes a special person. Not only does it take a special person for to be dating a musician that is at this point in our careers we're gone, for a month, 2 months at a time. But it also takes a special person to be able to have that one loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
and secondly just a moral compass to um, work it out in your relationship, communication, having them understand, having you understand. Yeah, I mean, we're none of us are married, so who knows about the long run. But
Yeah.
I think I think it'll all be cool, and we have, whether it's from girlfriends or potential future wives, or just our community in general, we have so much support.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that goes back to what I said about somebody like Paul Moak. He's not just asking about how the gig went. We're talking about spiritual things. We're talking about dating things. He's been married a very long time to uh, a lady with a beautiful soul that's very understanding about his life, and she communicates with my girlfriend, who it's just an
Yeah.
awesome thing, man.
My last question, Garrett, I'll start with you. So this podcast is inspired. Did you ever watch the show called Ted Lasso?
Yeah,
Did you ever see that? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
I've
this
seen.
podcast
I never watched it, but yes, I know it. I know it.
yeah, yeah. So this podcast is inspired by that. And Curious Goldfish is a combination of a couple of different scenes from that show. But curiosity I think is important in life and relationships and family and everything. I guess at this stage of your life and where you're at, what are you most curious about?
Oh man, I'm curious about what I am to become. There's this stupid little reel I watched on Instagram. It's not really that stupid. It's just kind of philosophical. Um, he, there's this samurai talking to this master samurai, and he goes, um, "How long, if I were to practice, being a samurai, how long would it take for me to become a master?" And the guy thinks, and he goes, "A decade, 10 years." And the guy comes back and, well, what if I work twice as hard and everything more diligently? He's like, Master thinks about it. And he goes, 20 years. And he goes, why is that? And he goes, because you'll be so focused on trying to hone this craft that you have time to find yourself. And so I kind of just want to find my own way. And so that's what I'm most curious about. It's also, there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to, you don't know if you'll become someone good or you'll become someone bad. You never know what, life thrusts at your way. So
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you for that.
thank you.
Tyler, you with us? Or are we good? Sorry for the troubles, man.
Tyler, what's the nearest McDonald's? Starbucks. Yeah, free Wi-Fi.
Sorry. Well, hopefully he can. We'll give him another minute.
Okay. He just shot me a text. He said nothing is working right now. He said tell the dude I'm sorry, but I'll give him one more minute.
Okay.
Yeah. For that.
Hey, is there? So I know you guys are getting ready to go back on the road. Is there any way you guys could record like an acoustic version of one of your songs that I could include at the end of the episode?
I'll run it. I'll run it by. I'm pretty sure we'd be cool with that, dude. You're a good talk, good hang. What song? Do you have any songs like in mind that you'd want?
Not Goodbye Virginia, apparently, because I can't ask about that.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about it. It's probably not going to be that.
No, anyone that you guys would lend itself to kind of an acoustic version. It's just it helps kind of promote
every single one of these. So I mean, if you wanted in the garden acoustic, that'd be good to do that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man.
And this will take me a few weeks to put together. So you guys can take your time. Hey Tyler, what's up, man?
Maybe you can hear me, but I look frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, just turn let's
give it a shot. Sometimes the software actually comes through when you don't know it. So yeah. So
I'll keep it on.
I'll let you answer the last. I'll let you answer the last question, then I'll let you guys go. But sorry for the problems. I just asked. Yeah, so I guess same question to you, Tyler. At this point in your career in life, what are you most curious about?
With the band?
Just anything. Yeah, it could be anything related to life or music or religion or whatever.
Oh man, what I'm most curious about? That's a tough one. I guess I'm most curious about what's going to happen after all of this is said and done. This time around, what happens after this life. I have my feelings and faith in certain things, but yeah, that's a great curiosity for probably everybody. But that's kind of my main thought throughout the day and throughout life is everything's kind of pinpointed towards that.
Okay. Cool. I think I saw somewhere too where you grew up a little bit on Christian music, which is hilarious because I did too. So like that's another whole nother conversation. But well, I appreciate you both. Thanks for your time. I hope to see you guys at Smith's in Atlanta, but good luck on the tour with the Retrograde, and really appreciate you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, dog. Appreciate it.